Hey guys, Dave Menz, Laundromat Millionaire here from Cincinnati, Ohio. First, just want to let you know that I am holding my camera while I drive. My bracket broke. So I'm going to focus more on driving and talking than I am on the video, so hopefully I don't cut my head off or anything crazy like that. I just want to make a video today because I had some things kind of running through my mind, and I wanted to share a quick story with you about a situation that happened recently in our company, and I think it'll bring value to you all in managing your people, building up your people, building a team. But I think it could also be really I think it could be really helpful for you as business owners and entrepreneurs and investors wherever you're at in your world. And that is, we had a young lady start with us that had virtually no job experience a little over 3 years ago. She was 19 years old. She had tried college, decided college wasn't for her, and she was just looking to kind of find her place in the world. And she applied for a job, and seemed like a very nice young lady, well-spoken and everything, and so we gave her a chance. But we also explained to her that, you don't have any job experience. This is an entry-level position. And we're going to work with you and train you up and kind of teach you our business. But we also explained to her that we're a very quickly growing company and that there was opportunity. We don't believe in dangling a carrot in front of somebody's face. And we didn't necessarily, weren't offering him a promotion or anything like that. We just wanted to let her know that we were a company where there was opportunity, and all she had to do was reach out and grab it. But we also let her know that, it wasn't going to happen quickly, that it was going to take time, and that she had a foundation to build in her job with us and in her career, regardless of where she worked. And the young lady struggled for the first year or two, to be honest with you. Super kind, super honest, very reliable, which is all good qualities to have. But at the same time, she just struggled with immaturity and direction. We had to babysit her a lot, which isn't something we're a big fan of. But we believed in her as a person. And so we as an organization really worked with her. And we slowly but surely started giving her more responsibility. And kind of building her up more and more within our organization. She was someone that I talked to on many occasions, that, someday she could potentially be a supervisor or a trainer or even a manager or someday even a GM. She has those type of qualities that we look for in building a superstar. But we also explained to her that we weren't going to do it for her, and we couldn't, and we weren't going to, lower our standards to the point where she would, automatically meet them. That wasn't something we were going to do. Long story short, fast forward 3 years, we eventually gave her more responsibility. We trained her up significantly, and in the last 6 months or so, she did step up. And she kind of, I wouldn't say it was an overnight thing, but we could see signs of maturity. She's now 21 or 22 years old. And out of nowhere, she abruptly put in her 2 weeks notice the other day. Completely unexpected to both me and my GM and honestly my whole team. She wasn't in a super strategic position or anything like that. And so, we'll be able to roll with it and replace her. But the reality is we were a little disappointed for her. Because the opportunity that she decided to take at another company is, it's one of those things when you've been through life and you're successful, you can kind of see red flags and see, I don't want to see a train wreck, but you can see things coming. And so I sat down with her and I tried to give her, or actually I was on the phone, and I tried to give her some advice and explain to her that, if she really felt it was time for her to leave, I respected that, I understood that, I didn't want to hold her back. But at the same time, I tried to explain to her that the foundation she had put in place for her career with us was on track, and that she was essentially just being impatient. And the interesting thing is, when I asked her really what she wanted, what she was looking for, she didn't know. She couldn't really answer the question other than I've been working here for 3 years and I'm in the same position I was when I started. And technically that's true as far as title, but sometimes in life we get caught up in titles and things like that. The reality is, if she sat back and looked at it, and I tried to show her, the truth was that she wasn't in the same place. She was much more valuable to the organization. She's much more mature, whether she realized it or not. She now knows how to work, which she did not know how to do when she came to us. And so she's in a much better foundation for her life, and we're glad for that, and we wish her the best. But the truth is, I had recently decided that I was going to talk to her about a raise. I didn't think we were going to change her title at the moment, but I was going to give her a fairly significant raise. We're really good about constantly telling our people how much we appreciate them, praising them when they do great things, and praising them when they do good things and pointing out those things. But we're also really big on accountability and discipline. And so, nobody's perfect, and she wasn't. She had a long ways to go, and so we had to coach her up a lot. The reason I tell you this story is before she put in her 2 weeks notice and I got a chance to talk to her, she had brought up to me that, she felt a little disrespected, that and not because of anything specific we'd done, but just because essentially we hadn't promoted her fast enough. And I tried to explain to her how the real world works, and that, things aren't always as they appear on the internet. But at the same time, she seemed to listen, but she didn't seem to really understand, if I'm honest. And that was a little disappointing. But I told her, take some time to think about it. I gave her a lot of constructive advice just for her life, whether she leaves or not. And then I told her to think about it for a day and then come back and see if she still decided that, it was the right move for her to leave. And that afternoon, I spoke with my GM and had a really good conversation with my GM about this individual. And we both agreed that she wasn't perfect. She wasn't, probably totally ready to be in a management position. Well, but we also both agreed that, she had done many, many things well, and that we really wanted to see her be successful. And really all she was asking for was just an opportunity. And so we put her in a position where she could have some success if she chose to. And so what we did is I was prepared to offer her a promotion, a management position. And I don't believe in doing these things just to, just to keep an employee or just to placate them. But we also sat down and had a good meeting with my GM, and her and I agreed that, we had taken chances on other people when they maybe weren't 100% ready. Some of them had taken advantage of that. Some of them had really blown it. And that she was probably in that position where she deserved the opportunity to kind of sink or swim. And so I was prepared to go back to her and have another conversation and offer her this promotion, which would have been fairly significant, and see what she thought. And if she still wanted to leave after that, that would have been fine. But if she wanted to stay and take the bull by the horns and run with it, that she could do that. And I tried to call her that afternoon, and she didn't answer. And I texted her and asked her to give me a call. Said I had something I wanted to chat with her about, and she didn't call. And then a few hours later, out of nowhere, I got a text message that basically said, I've thought about it. I've decided to take this other position, and I think I'm still going to go ahead and put in my 2 weeks notice and leave. And so the reality is, she doesn't even know that promotion was on the table. To be honest with you, she got a little ahead of herself. She didn't give me the opportunity to have a conversation that she probably should have. And I'm not saying she would have stayed or not stayed, but she was in a position where she probably should have at least heard me out, and she might have been pleasantly surprised about the opportunity we were going to give her and let her prove herself to us. And so the reason I bring this up today is because I feel like a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs and employees, we grind and grind and grind and grind, and we work really hard, and we make sacrifices. And sometimes we quit right before we hit that success. I'm glad I didn't do that, but there was times where I certainly could have in my journey, especially in my early 20s. And I just wanted to point that out to you. You know, it's an analogy. I'm talking about an employee, but when it comes to business ownership and things like that, you know, the things that we want in life, the goals and successes and money, don't always come as quickly as we want them to. And so we just have to remind ourselves that if it takes 2 years, if it takes 5 years, if it takes 10 years, if it's something that's important to you and you want, then you're going to stick it out. If it takes 15 years, I've told some of you my journey. It took me a good 5 years of saving money, working hard, living below my means, and saving just to build up a small enough nest egg to be able to invest in my first business and kind of get going. And then from there, I worked another 5 years trying to build and run my business on the side, and working my full-time job just to build my businesses to the point where I could leave. And so I want to use her as an analogy today. And she may or may not see this, and that's fine. And we wish her the best. She knows who she is. But the reality is she's kind of cutting out. You know, she's worked 3 years pretty hard to put a good foundation in place for potentially a decent career for herself. And she's giving up at the very last minute. And because she you know, maybe didn't communicate as well at the end as she could have or should have, she's leaving a pretty significant opportunity on the table that she isn't even aware. But I'm not going to call and chase her. I'm not going to email her and offer her a promotion. We're going to talk in person. We're going to talk on the phone, or it's not going to happen. And she did give me the opportunity to talk once, but when I brought it up again, I think she already had her mind made up that she was leaving, and so she didn't want to have any more conversation, which is certainly fine, and I respect that. But I hope this will bring you guys some value today and in your journey in life, whether it's as a spouse or a parent or a business owner, entrepreneur, what have you. That, you know, the old saying that, you know, things in life worth having don't come quickly and don't come easily. And there is a lot of truth to that. And so if you're diligent and you're focused and you continue to grind, you know, those good things will happen in time. But if your goal is for them to happen in 2 years, that there's no guarantee that it might take 4, or it might take 6, or it might take 8. And some of you may not want to hear that, but at the end of the day, if your goals and your priorities are important enough to you, never giving up is really what it's all about. If it takes 20 years, you know, grinding it out and making it happen. So I hope everybody has a great day. If you have any comments, please feel free to comment below. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video. And what that does is raises my content value on YouTube, and what it does allows more people to see my content. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to monetize this channel. I'm just trying to bring value to our industry, to other entrepreneurs, and I hope this does that for you. So you guys all have a great day, and we'll talk soon. All right, bye.